So guys, we are nearly at the end of 2025. Give yourself a round of applause for making it through. Yay! To be fair, I was just giving myself a round of applause because this year it's been a year. So I had the opportunity to run an end of year, get ready for 2026 workshop, and I wanted to do something different. So online, you've probably seen a lot of people getting ready to gear up for their rebrand of 2026. And don't get me wrong, in previous years, I would have joined in. I'd have got my Pinterest board at the ready. I would have made my vision board, whatever board there is. I probably would have made a list of things that I wasn't ever going to tick off. It would be quite unrealistic. And in this workshop, I wanted to switch up the narrative. I said, instead of trying to rebrand for 2026, I want us to reconnect with who we actually are. When you think about rebranding, you think about ripping it all up and starting again. I think as human beings, we always go to the extreme. So I don't know about you, but there's been times where I've said, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 6 times a week. And I've literally not been in 6 years. Make it make sense, right? And what I wanted to explain in this workshop is that it's about starting from where you're at and then building from there. It's only once you've actually audited where you are in life that you can start making incremental changes and realistic ones as well. I think a lot of people, they go into January like, yeah, new year, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And then by 2 weeks in, they've dropped off. I think there's just so much emphasis on showing up differently rather than showing up as yourself. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a better version of yourself. But I think the key word here is yourself. And when it comes to rebranding, I think sometimes people are trying to create this ideal version of themselves without actually reconnecting with who they actually are. We're so used to selling ourselves or putting our best foot forward and wanting to impress other people underneath the roles, underneath the masks. Who are you at your core? Now, I'm going to be super honest with you. I've always been someone who wants to understand myself and the world. I like to make meaning out of things. But I think one of the reasons why I'm personally really interested in getting to know and understand myself is because growing up, I really struggled to have a strong sense of self. And this was kind of reinforced once when I was on a call with a therapist, and she said, a lot of women with ADHD struggle with their sense of self. So I kind of made it my mission to really truly understand myself and how I operate and how I show up in the world. As a life design coach, I don't just work with neurodivergent people, but this idea of self-understanding and knowing how your brain works, I think everybody should really take the time to get to know themselves. And it wasn't until I quit my job of 4 years did I actually take the time to indulge in self-exploration. This is the foundation of life design. You can't design a life that serves you if you don't understand the person that you're serving. Guys, I can't believe my phone's just died. We're so caught up in how we want things to play out and how we want our life to look, but we rarely take the time to just think about ourselves. So I got them to do an exercise where they had to start thinking about how they operate and how they show up in the world. And I gave them an example. I said, look, I'm a verbal processor. Okay, so I'm not a visual person. I don't have an inner dialogue. I literally make sense of the world by speaking, talking, or writing. And learning this about myself has been a massive game changer in regards to the work that I do and how I show up on socials. So I wanted them to consider, how do they process information? How do they learn? What energizes them? What drains them? What are some of their values? What are some of their beliefs? My belief is once you understand how you operate in the world, once you understand your personal operating system, it's only then that you can actually design a life that truly serves you. And it's not a performative version. It's not just for the sake of a personal brand, which again is a whole nother topic, right? We're so obsessed with this idea of creating and crafting a personal brand. And although that's well and good in regards to business and work and the way the world's going, my kind of goal is to get people to focus on their personhood first, their personal brand second. And don't get me wrong, understanding yourself is an ongoing process. It never ends. People change, people grow. Even for myself, like, I'm not the person I was 6 months ago. But once I have that real deep understanding, every decision I make, every call I make on my life comes from that place. And that just kind of allows me to live a life that is fully aligned. I work with so many people that have lived a life that is very much based on other people's perception of them or their expectations of them. And they come to me and they're like, Davika, like, I just want to be me. Like, I understand why Gemma Collins said, I just want to be me. So again, I've got nothing against rebranding. I've got nothing against reinventing yourself. I'm a freaking life design coach. I literally help people redesign their life. But one thing I think it's really, really important that you do before 2026 is reconnect with who you actually are.